quickly, I want to give you 5 ways to reclaim your purity. I'm all about tools. I don't just want to hype you. I want to make sure you have tools to use. How do I get my purity back? Number 1, get your own oil. In other words, stop carrying empty jars. Stop carrying empty lamps. I love what the Bible says here in Matthew 25, verse 3. It says the foolish ones took their lamps. It says, but they did not take any oil with them. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. Can you see this? There are 10 virgins that had lamps, but only 5 of them had oil. I love this. All 10 of them looked the same on the outside. All 10 of them seemingly had the same qualifications. Come on, let's just modernize it. Imagine 10 women all walking with their, what do y'all call them, never full, an endless buffet purse. They're all walking with their Louis bag, Michael Kors. But only 5 of them got something in it. And this is why purity has been challenging, because we've been focusing on lamps and not oil. We've been focusing on the outside and not the inside, the body and not the heart. The lamps here, listen, represents the form of godliness. They look churchy. They all had tamarines. They all had, you remember them back in the 90s, you put them the white things on their head? See, y'all ain't from the Holiness Church. That's what's wrong with y'all now. We need a white thing on the head Sunday. Yeah. Some of them just have them on the back of the couch with the plastic on. Nah. I ain't got LaWanda, my only witness in here. Y'all too young. You got to put a white thing. That's how I know you saved. They all had the white thing on the head. No pants. Look at y'all. Look at y'all. They had the form. They had the religious rhetoric. They had churchiness down pat. That's why I love this church. It's for the unchurched and the overchurched. Some of us just got too much church. That's our problem. We need to get detoxed from some of the foolishness that we've not. Lamp carriers. Let me talk about lamp carriers. Lamp carriers quote scriptures but don't live them out. Yeah. They're the people who are always making a scriptural post on just the Lord is my shepherd, but you're not being led. Lamp carriers, they'll wear church merch. They're clothed in merch, but not clothed in the fruit of the Spirit. Right. They can speak in tongues, but they don't have self-control, so they gossip too. You know lamp carriers. What good are public lamps without private oil? Good God, did you hear what I just said? And this is why many of us have lost our purity, because we've lost our oil. I need you to lean on somebody and tell them it's time to get your oil back. How do I get my oil back? Listen, can I tell you something? Church ain't where you get oil. I'm sorry. Do you think church is where I got anointed? I'm sorry. You think church is where this transformation happened? No, sir. It was at the crib, on my face, before I got married. Come on, that's your problem. When I had the time on my hand, all I did was lay before the Lord and weep. Didn't even know what I was crying about. Didn't even know what I was praying for. But that's where you get the oil. And the problem is we've made the church the place that's supposed to be our source, and it's not. No, sir. I come here just to get inspired. I come here together with the saints. I come here to edify his body, but this ain't where I get filled. I get filled at the house, and that's the only way I can enter his gates with thanksgiving. Enter his court with praise. I don't care what the worship team came. I brought my own oil to church. I don't care who preached on Sunday. I brought my own oil to church. This ain't where I got filled at. This ain't where I got filled at. And if this is your only source, then you'll always drag in needing an oil change. That's why believers are now so grumpy and offensive. Because this is your source. When I bring my own oil, it don't matter if you speak to me or not. I ain't here for you. It don't matter if I got a parking space or not. I ain't here for you. It don't matter if you call me Travis, PT, Bishop. Titles don't make me. I brought my own oil. Grab your neighbor and tell him, get your own oil. Get your own oil. Get your own oil. Get your own oil. I don't need an altar call to get oil. I don't need somebody to lay hands on me to know I'm anointed. I brought my own. And that's half our problem. That's half our problem. That nobody told you how to walk it out. I love church, but this ain't my source. It ain't my source. If I didn't come to church for a year, I don't believe I would backslide. I'd miss it, but it don't make me. Tell somebody else, get your own oil, get your own oil, get your own oil. Number 2, after you got your own oil, get on fire. Get on fire. I was saying in verse 8, the foolish one said to the wise, give us some of your oil. Why? Our lamps are going out. Get on fire. Isn't it significant? They recognized too late that their lamps were empty. And this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you attempt to live pure without being filled. Being filled is not a one-time thing. Ask your gas tank. Man, Engaged Culture was so amazing. Permission Conference was so amazing. Church was so, worship night was so amazing. Yeah. You got full, but the question is, did you stay filled? See, if I come here and get all God got for me, but I go and allow the devil to do all he wants to do to me, I'm going. So a desire to be pure without staying filled equals burnout. Burnout. You burn out because you don't have nothing to keep the flame going. I was watching a movie the other day, and my wife and I, we got this habit now. We travel with our Apple TV. It's the most genius thing we've ever discovered. We have friends tell us about it. Changed our life forever, really, in a significant way. So we take this little box, we hook it up HDMI. God forbid the hotel TV don't have HDMI. I start rebuking demons, and I've broken so many hotel TVs trying to just, I'm serious, me and the band, we've literally blown up TVs across the world, set them on fire. But all you gotta do is tell them it was broke when you got there. Anyway, listen, we travel with our Apple TV. We traveled with our Apple TV, and my wife and I was watching a movie. And in the movie, it was a crazy movie. And in the movie, it was a woman trying to fly a plane. She never flew a plane before. Long story short, she was trying to land the plane, and she's flying, and she's talking with air traffic control. And she says, there's a beep. And he said, oh, dang, you're out of fuel. And she said, oh, God, we're out of fuel. And he said, no, actually, that's the best possible scenario. Because if you're out of fuel, if you crash, the plane will be less flammable. And I had this thought. Where there's no oil, there's no fire. And so there's many people, hear me, who burnt out and who are no longer on fire for the Lord because they lost their oil. And you gotta have fire. Why? Because fire is a purifier. You will not, hear me, stay pure without his fire burning in you. The question is, are you on fire? Are you on fire? Do you remember being on fire? See, I remember being on fire. I remember when no one had to beg me to go to church. True story, when I was in college, I used to send 300 text messages out every Sunday morning to everybody across the campus. Come to church, come to church, come to church, come to church. On fire. My wife, oh, God. She was the safest 19-year-old I ever met in my life. One of my best friends back then, his name is Molly Music. I remember being in college. I told Molly, I said, yo, man, I think I really like Jackie. He said, you talking about crazy praiser, Jackie? Jackie would shut the church down. 19-year-old Jackie, we would have had somebody from security would have sit right by her the whole church. She had to tear the row up. They had to carry her out. On fire, on fire. They used to sing a song in the church I grew up. I wish the whole church would catch on fire. I know you're on fire when your praise is passionate. I know you're on fire when you can't keep it to yourself. Have you ever seen anybody on fire before? I'm not talking about a cigarette lighter burn. I'm not talking about hot grease trying to fry some fish. I'm talking about your whole body on fire. I'll tell you what you never seen. You never seen nobody on fire and cool. No, because fire comes with desperation. I know you're on fire when you don't need a band to get you to wave your hand. I know you're on fire when all it takes is a flashback and you start losing it real quick. I know you're on fire when you can't contain your praise. That's when you're on fire. But not only that, not just on fire publicly. There's a lot of people who look like they're on fire but have no devotion life in private. What good are public lamps without private oil?